Hello and welcome to the Aid Station. I'm Chris Robb and really excited today to catch up with an old friend, Abdul Wahab, who is the Group GM of Bintan Resorts International on the beautiful island of Bintan in Indonesia. And for those of you that might not know Bintan, it's just off the coast from Singapore, a very easy hours ferry ride. Wonderful place. I've known Wahab for many years, participated in a number of events there, like the amazing Tour de Bintan cycling event. So great to see you again, Wahab. It's been probably 8, 9 months since we last caught up at Mass Participation World in Singapore in December.
Yes, Chris. And first and foremost, I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank the First Aid Station for having me and having Bintan Resort to be participating in your event. In your station. So I honestly feel appreciated. We are sincerely great to be back. To meet you after 8, 9 months. So yeah, we look forward for this relationship to continue. And then even though in situation like this, I think we shall continue to communicate and to engage each other, especially people from the same industry like us.
Yeah, no, wonderful. It's key, and I mean that's been one of the things is this, so much collaboration across the industry. Even though we haven't spoken directly, you've been on some of the weekly webinars, and your team has been. It's been wonderful to see, and you've got a great story. I'd love to hear a little bit of, or I'm sure the viewers would love to hear a little bit about your background, please, Wahab.
Well, I was a police officer before I joined Bintan Resort. I was a police officer in Singapore for about 20 years. I moved to become moved to become to be part of hotel development group, okay, which is Galan Venture, which is our main company, our investment company in Singapore. We also operating some other businesses, but for me, I am taking care of Bintan, or I'm taking care of resort and hotel development. Okay, I'm working with investors, and then after the resort has been developed, we help to coordinate between the hotels, the master developer. We are the master developer between the hotel as well as the local government. We are also leading or coordinating with all the resort. Currently, we have 15 hotels in Bintan. Some of them you already know, Banyan Tree, Club Med. We have Sanchaya, Nirwana Gardens, Bintan Lagoon Resorts, Treasure Bay. Being a master developer, we are coordinating in all aspects of operations, okay? Be it electricity, water, security and safety, events, and also we are coordinating among the resort with the destination marketing. So we market Bintan Resort as one, as per destination. Whilst the hotel, such as like Banyan Tree or Club Med, they have their own marketing engine, but we coordinating everyone in Bintan Resort to work together to promote the destination. Bintan Resort has been in existence for the past 20 years. Yeah, we have received a lot of guests internationally. I think the main arrival of Bintan Resort actually come via Singapore, and Singapore or Singaporean or expatriate in Singapore, one of the major arrival to Bintan, especially over the weekend. But of course, we also have people from China, Korea, Japan, Europe. Our total arrival for 2019, more than 1.2 million. Okay, so that is an increase. Each year, our arrival increased between 5 to 8%. Okay, so that was so good. And until COVID come about somewhere or sometime in February this year. So we have decline of arrival. So nonetheless, we continue to strive. Well, we continue to work with all our travel trade partners, people like you. We continue to work with our event organizer to ensure that Bintan Resort will still continue in the new normal when we start operating again, hopefully soon. hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's wonderful. I mean, you were sharing, and as I say, I'm aware of it. I mean, there's been this, collaboration with event organizers, number of them like Metasport from Singapore. You've built this vibrant mass participation event calendar, which obviously contributes to the whole economy and visitation. And you were saying, you were giving those numbers 1.2. I think you were saying that 90,000 visitors on a weekend, and the number of ferries that were running, and you've literally gone to zero. You were saying, I think you now have one ferry a week, and in most instances that has 3 to 5 people on it. Indonesians coming back to Bintan. What's life been like? You said you're completely COVID free, so you're still a green zone. You haven't had a single case there, but what's life been like over the last few months for you?
Okay, I think first thing is that we have to reflect back as when I mentioned about 1.2 arrival in 2019. In 2020, we are projected actually to have 1.5 million arrival. So you can see from 1.2 to 1.5, but unfortunately, since February this year, January, we are still doing very well. January, we're doing 90,000 arrival this year. Yeah. Last year, we do about 70,000. You can see the increase of arrival to Bintan are actually very healthy.
Yeah.
But since COVID-19, February, we declined from average 70,000 to only 35,000. But come to March, until today, what I can say, the arrival to Bintan, you can actually count by fingers. Every week, I explained to you earlier, from daily weekdays arrival, 5 ferries, and weekend about 10 to 14 ferries. And now during COVID, once a week, only on Wednesday, there is arrival to Bintan. We have to have arrival because we wanted to open Bintan as an international getaway for any purpose, for logistic, for food and things like that. So we have to remain open. But then as far as the arrival of guests, I can tell you it is very, very soft. If I can get 10 arrival every week, I'll be very happy. And these people that actually arriving to Bintan, not a guest, they're actually Indonesian residents who actually live in Singapore, they are coming back. So yeah. you can imagine, since February, since middle of February up to today, we have almost zero arrival to Bintan. So that will explain how does this affect our economy. That definitely is negative.
Yeah.
That definitely negative. My main concern now, whilst the resort are still here, most of the resort actually putting their rooms on mothball, meaning they are put on close, but they continue to maintain. So that is why we call mothball. Mm-hmm. And then we hope this will open very soon. But nonetheless, it's already 4 months, now coming to 5 to 6 months, that the resort are remain closed. And in Bintan Resort, we have 5,000 workforce. So with no revenue coming in, right? And we still have to continue and maintain our staff. Mm-hmm. And then that is why now we among the resort. So the duty of Bintan Resort International, okay, is to work with all the resort to ensure that they continue to maintain low costs in their budgeting. And we, as the master developer, we actually producing electricity, water, which we are now giving them a very good rebate to ensure that they are sustainable and continue with their business.
So that whole amount of kind of collaboration, everyone, we're all in this together, trying to find a solution, trying to live through this period of time as we get through it. I imagine, huge amount of challenges there with the staff and a destination, a beautiful island that relies so heavily on tourism. When you talk about them being mothballed, let's assume that you were given the green light and the border with Singapore opens and things start to happen. How long do you see before those hotels are able to be up and running and maybe events might be able to come back to Bintan? Is that Q4 this year, or is it possibly more likely going to be Q1 in 2021, do you think?
A very good questions that posed by you. We in Bintan Resort has been working very closely between resort to resort. We have what we call here Bintan Resort Council, where all the 15 hotels are represented in Bintan Resort Council. For us, Bintan Resort International, we are collaborating between the resort, their owner, between us and also the local government. Okay, we have been urging to local government that Bintan Resort with sound protocol, with good COVID-19 protocol, with good roadmap, with good checklist, we actually ready to open. As I mentioned earlier, that since COVID-19 existing in the world, it's not just affecting us, we have until today maintained a 0 case. That's to show that the management of Bintan Resort, together with all our stakeholders, we have managed to ensure that Bintan Resort free from virus. Yeah, so that is the key elements as to why we should be able to open again. Yeah. We have put up several protocols, several proposals to local government, to Kepri, Kepulauan Riau Island Province. We also put up what I call a proposal to Minister of Tourism Indonesia. We also put up a proposal to the Coordinating Minister of Economy of Indonesia, Bapak Luhut, who are actually familiar with Singapore, to inform them that Bintan Resort, with all the protocol that we have in place, with all the action plan that we are actually ready to open. But we are not the regulator. Yeah. We are the practitioner. Okay. So between the hotel, Bintan Resort, we have put up a referendum to inform the authorities that we are ready. But nonetheless, that Indonesian government have already started talking to Singapore. As I mentioned, the Singapore borders and Bintan or Bintan Resort borders must be open. If not, the economy of Bintan, the resort of the hotel or resort in Bintan will not be able to sustain. Just now you're asking me how long more can we withstand with this kind of environment. I always mention that in our roadmap, we mentioned that first 2 months or first 3 months, the hotel will still continue, okay, to employ the staff. We put hotel on mothball, we do maintenance, we do training. But after the 4th and 5th month, that is real trying period. So we have been urging the government, we have been urging the authorities to open. We hope that Bintan Resort can be open perhaps by the 3rd quarter, middle of that quarter, or latest perhaps by the last quarter. If not, everybody will have to do restructuring. When we do restructuring, meaning that when there is no economy, then we have to look into either to close the hotel, to close the resort, or to reduce the manpower. These are the steps that we already start thinking that we wanted to take. But nonetheless, we are continue to remain positive. We continue to talk with our travel partner. We talk to Singapore, a lot of travel agents in Singapore. We talk to travel agents internationally. We talk to travel agents within Indonesia itself. So now, as we now try to open the international border, but we already opened Bintan to a local border, to the domestic borders. We opened Bintan to Batam, we opened Bintan to Jakarta, to Bali, but of course, with a very strict protocol. Okay, we not just open, blanketly open and free for all, no. Yeah. For those who come from red zone, okay, from red zone, they will have to be monitored. We have to check on their health. We have to ensure that they are virus free. If they are having virus, then we have to put them on isolation. Yeah. Meaning that as part of our what I call planning roadmap. We opened between Indonesia, okay, and then we tried to open Singapore and Bintan. That's what we intend to do now.
Wow, it's yeah, it sounds complicated. Lots of leadership to get there, and I guess, you know, hopefully not long before some of these amazing events come back. I always like to finish something on an inspirational note on the aid station, and you know, I'm sure you've seen many inspiring things. As I said, I've participated in Tour de Bintan, one of my most favorite events, riding through the villages with the local population coming out and cheering the cyclists on. You have Ironman 70.3, you have Bintan Marathon. Is there something with that, or through COVID, an inspiring story that you've seen that you'd love to share with the people that are watching, please?
First and foremost, I think COVID-19 is unprecedented. Nobody would ever think that it will happen. We have experienced SARS, we have experienced Bali bomb, we have experienced financial crisis, right? Back in early 20s. But now when we talk about COVID-19, COVID-19 actually more than anything else, because it's already been with us now almost 6 months. When we talk about SARS, perhaps 2 months. We talk about Bali bomb, 1 month. So we already here. I mean, this COVID-19 has already been with us now. So we need resilience, okay? You mentioned a strong leadership alone is not enough. We need a strong leadership, but then a strong team. The strong team and strong leadership that work together, okay, to implement protocol together. And also with this strong leadership, strong team, that we have to influence the local governments. We have to influence WHO. So these are among other things that leadership is all about. Because I always believe that, okay, I'm just like you. Okay, we are taking part in many other sports. Okay, we need endurance. We need what I call good mental state, you know, to run 42 kilo, to cycle 300 kilometers in 2 days. So all these are charted into our plan. Okay, as an individual, I do believe leadership must be working with 3 components. First thing is that we have to work with the regulator, meaning that the authorities of the government, right? And then we have to work together with people in the same industry. As I am now in tourism industry, I will have to work with my partner or our travel or tourism partner. And last but not least, we have to work together with our clients, with the participants. Okay, so these 3 components must be together in order for us to steer through during this trying time. So for me, is that leadership by working together with all institutions. Okay, this is the only way for us to remain viable or to survive in this kind of situation.
Yeah, so collaborating to inspire each other to hang in there to get to the end. Wahab, it's been wonderful to catch up again. Thank you for sharing in what I'm sure is a very busy time for you. I look forward to seeing you online and hopefully not too long before we can catch up together face to face. It's been, to be honest, a few years since I have been to Bintan, and I always have fond memories of your wonderful hospitality, and hope it's not going to be too long before I get back there. Thank you so much again, and all the best.
All the best to you too, Chris. And I also wish, as a person, as an individual, hope that you will come back to Bintan when we open. But as an official invitation, okay, for you and your organization, we do hope that we can organize many more sport events, many more what I call a mass sport event in the future together.